Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave, where Jay Tilly and Ellie Jair will review the Elimination Chamber emanating from Montreal, Canada, where we saw some amazing action. And I am super psyched. I'm Ellie Jair.
This is Jay Tilly.
Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What did you think, man? Jeez.
Man, I was pretty impressed with most of the show. A
Mm,
couple turds they floated in the toilet, but overall,
mm-hmm,
I thought the show was pretty good.
mm.
Matter of fact, both chamber matches I enjoyed. The end of one was kind of it's going to be interesting because I think we'll get to that one for sure. We'll spoil it now. It's the men's chamber. He and I have definitely got some split opinions on that one for sure.
Oh, yeah, when we were texting back and forth, I was like, no.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And just like I've got my WrestleMania card already done, and I'm like, might as well rip it up with this one. And I don't know where you go. Do you have time? Like, oh, but yeah, it was. I was surprised how it opened too, and not surprised how it ended, and everything in between. All in all, a great card. The crowd loved the show, and I think the wrestlers felt it, the superstars felt it, and they absolutely delivered.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It opens. We'll jump right into it.
Yeah,
Opens with the women's chamber, which was Asuka, Carmella, Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross,
yeah,
Natalia Hart, and Liv Morgan.
yeah,
First two to start in the ring were Liv and Hart. Decent back and forth. I have gotten a whole new respect for Liv over the past couple matches I've watched her
yeah.
in. I watched her in some of the stuff with the Ronda Rousey and wasn't impressed with some of her things.
Hmm.
However, I think that might have been due to booking more than her performance. Because watching her in the Oscar match on Friday and then watching her in the chamber, holy cow, man! She took a beating and she put a beating on.
Yeah.
There was just some really good spots. The spot where Liv gets her head pushed through the cage, and then Natalie's choking her out with it. Man, I'm like, that's some pretty good stuff right there.
Yeah.
So they go at it for however long. They didn't really. They might have said it in the opener, but I didn't catch how long the first two started in the ring. It felt like 10 minutes, but I'm not sure. It's probably like 3.
Yeah.
But the work those two put in was good. Next out was Rodriguez. Again, another one that I didn't realize how impressed I was with her. She looked good with the three of those three. Pretty strong interactions. And by the way, at any time if you want to stop me to highlight a spot, just let me
Oh
know
no, absolutely. Yeah.
because I'll run through it. I
Yeah.
obviously do not have the Adam Wilborn skills to analyze and write down every single move that went on. Otherwise, we'd be here for 16 hours trying to talk about
Yep.
it. Rodriguez out next. Then was Nikki Cross, and she just went crazy. Crazy Nikki went running around the ring, smacking everybody, doing everything she can. Climbs on top of the pod and does a dive. So she was the first pod climber. Climbs on the top of the
Yeah.
pod, dives off onto Raquel and Liv, which is kind of early in the match too, because you got to figure Carmella and them weren't even out yet.
Hmm.
Takes them all out while everybody's down. Carmella comes out. She taunts Asuka, and then she realizes that everybody's getting up from the crazy dives. She goes back in and tries to hide in her
Goes
pod.
and hides in the chamber. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
don't
tell
look
you
at
what,
me.
she played her role very good in this
Yes.
match. I enjoyed watching her and she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what her role was
Hmm.
I'm going to try to steal a pin every chance I get. I'm going to try to whatever the case is. She did very good. I was impressed with her. But yeah, the hiding
Yeah.
in the pod in order to get her out of there. Rodriguez just picks up Nikki Cross and body slams her through the pod. No big
Yeah.
deal. That looked
Just
brutal too.
just gonna drive you through, and like when Nikki jumped off, the way she landed, there was a shadow, or maybe it was just the way the camera was. I thought she caught something or someone on the way down, so she was holding the side of her face, but she was just selling. I was
Ah,
I totally bought whatever she was trying to sell, and I thought, oh my goodness, she's gonna get up. She's gonna be bleeding. They're gonna freak out. They don't want they don't want blood in all the women's matches. And the action progressed. They slowly started making their way back into the ring, and like you said, Carmella with trying to steal the pins and doing all that, it was really good. Raquel looked super super strong in there with Miss Liv there, who's now, I think she's going to be like the resident Daredevil, and
Yeah.
she's really really starting to build her character. And if the Liv that she is now, if she was like this when she had the title, I think she'd still have the title. They wouldn't have put it on Ronda, because the the crowd was really behind Liv during the match. It was
Yeah.
awesome to see. Hmm.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So Raquel slams Dixie through the pod, and then ends up eliminating, gets the pin. Obviously, Nikki's out. Rodriguez has Hart in the corner. So yeah, you had back and forth going through it. Carmella was getting punched in the face, and she slides out, and Raquel Rodriguez is on like the second rope, and out of nowhere comes Liv Morgan off the top of the pod to hit that sunset powerbomb thing. Holy cow, that was
That
great! And
was
at
that was
first, I thought it wasn't going to
amazing.
go well, and then it went very well. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, holy cow! Yeah, I was trying to figure out what my notes said there, and that just clicked to me.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that was really good. That was a cool little spot. And then like I said, Carmella sliding in trying to get the cover. She doesn't get it.
Hmm.
She ends up kicking. Raquel kicks out. The next elimination was Liv gets eliminated because she gets put in the sharpshooter, and then while she's in the
Hmm.
sharpshooter, Asuka comes out and Asuka puts her in that armbar. So double submission hold, and she doesn't tap; she just passes out.
Yeah.
And so there goes Liv. Liv's out. That was a slick way to protect Liv, make her look
Yeah.
strong. My only complaint, and I saw this in the Ronda stuff too, is I don't like her little silly smile before she passes out sometimes. Like, I understand they're trying to convey, ooh, she likes the pain,
Hmm.
but she did it in the Ronda stuff where, like, right before she passes out, she does this really cheesy grin. And she did it here too. And I'm like, it just breaks it. Like,
Yeah.
make it look like it's a struggle. Talk about how much you like the pain, but I don't know.
Don't.
I,
Yeah. Don't.
I lost a little bit with that. Then Carmella ends up eliminating Hart. The way they pinned Carmella and Asuka pin Rodriguez was pretty slick too, where they kind of did the kick, super kick. I think you were trying to describe it
Yeah.
before we got on the air.
Kick, super kick, slide kick. Raquel looked great throughout the whole match. Hard hitting entertainment. It was really good.
Yeah, I will say that about this whole match is the women didn't come to play.
Hmm.
They looked stiff. They looked like they were in there to beat the hell out of somebody, and I really enjoyed it. Ended up with Asuka and Carmelo in the end, and Asuka obviously takes the win, which I think is what we predicted from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I didn't predict how much I was going to enjoy this match. Went about 35 minutes, I think, total. Truly enjoyed it. I had a blast. I thought it was a very, very decent match. Much better than what I expected. And yeah, I wouldn't say match of the night because I think the men's one took as far as the chamber goes. We'll get into that when we review that one. I enjoyed the match a lot.
Yeah. It was. I think all the women looked strong. Nobody was hung out to dry. Even Nikki being the first one pinned, and it was kind of weird. It was like, was Nikki pinned or was she eliminated? No, she isn't. Oh, yes, she is. It was, kind of wonky, but she got the dive off the top. She was able to sort of be her personality. Raquel looked amazing. The spots with Liv, and just like, how magnificent does Asuka look and perform on this version of her?
Oh,
It's fantastic. I'm really impressed with what they're doing with Oscar right now.
yeah, it definitely seems to have ignited her for sure. As far as like bringing her back, taking her off TV for a while, bringing her
Yeah.
back, and just lighting her up, like to the point where I think she can beat Bianca. Like I would like to see that. I'd like
Hmm.
to see her with the championship run. You brought up something with the elimination that was kind of an ongoing thing throughout the night, which I thought was funny. Was the production issues? So missing the Nikki Cross elimination was the first time it happened, but it wasn't the last throughout the show. There were
Yeah.
several times during the show where like they had to go back and recover something. I remember at least one during the Judgment Day match. I think there was
Hmm.
one during the men's chamber. Might even been one during like almost every match. There was something like, "Ooh, whoops, we cut away from that too
Yeah.
early," or whatever the case was.
Yeah. Camera out of place, or something with commentary. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. So then we got to the first turd of the night, which was the Lashley Lesnar match.
Mm,
I don't have much to say about this match. I felt like it was the same match they put on it. Was it WrestleMania last year
mm-hmm.
where they both hit their moves? They both hit their moves, but this one ended up going to a DQ. So Lashley, I think, got hit with two F5s, kicks out, Spears Lesnar again. So two spears, then gets in the hurt lock, and then Lesnar just does the good old fashioned heel mule kick to the balls and puts Lashley out, and they disqualify him. Then Lesnar loses his crap, and a bunch of F5s through the table.
Yeah.
F5's the ref, then takes the ref outside, and in an unscripted moment, from what I understand, F5's the ref
Mm.
outside on the table, which what I don't think he was supposed to do. But yeah, this match, I was worried this match going into it because I think we talked about it on the leading up to this that I feel like they've done everything they can with these two, and for it to end this way, I'm like, I really hope they're not going to run this back again. I hope it's done and over with.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially with Bray Wyatt, alluding to he wanted the winner, and you don't want this to be a three-way,
oh gosh, no.
and um, they've got to, do they put him in a cage on a Monday Night Raw?
I mean, the easy fix is
Yeah,
you
I don't
just have
know.
Lashley come up and say, "Hey, I'm done with you.
Yeah,
I've beaten you. I've beaten you every like he said in the promo leading up to this. Every time they fought 1-on-1, he's beat him. So he just comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm gonna go after the U.S. title, or maybe he just goes, I'm done with you. Let me go. I'm going after. I'm Wyatt Six. Let's go." And he brings a Hurt Locker together, and you have the Wyatt Six versus the Hurt Locker going
yeah,
forward. I don't know. I feel like he needs to be done with Lesnar. I think you turn Lesnar onto Intercontinental Champion, and you get Lesnar set up to go against Gunther because I think everybody wants to see that match.
that'd be a fun program.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. That was kind of like the big dookie in the floor that nobody wants to talk about. Yeah, I
Like,
think I literally have in my notes. I'm like trash shit booking is what I have written
yeah,
down
I'm thinking to
because
myself like the DQ could have been um, Lashley had him in the hurt lock. Lesnar backs him into the corner, breaks the hurt lock. Lesnar rolls out of the ring. Down comes the hit squad there. The hurt
hurt.
business. Hurt
Yeah,
business comes down. Maybe Almost is involved, and then that builds a program with Almost and Lesnar. Now Bobby can go, like you said, he can go focus on maybe he goes after the U.S. title, or maybe he wants to be in the world title picture again, and Lesnar can go make Almost or something like.
yeah,
So many ways that they could have ended this. If they were going to DQ it, it could have gone 100 different ways besides
yeah.
a
Or how about
cheap. Yeah,
just not do the match at all? Like
yeah,
why even set it up just because Lesnar needed a big payday for a pay per view? I mean,
yeah.
they could have skipped this whole feud, this whole lineup, left it
Hmm.
out, not even brought Lesnar back for Elimination Chamber, and just heated him up for what have him do the Royal Rumble thing. Cool.
Hmm.
Gunther could have eliminated him, and then we could have set up a program with him
Yeah,
and Gunther going into WrestleMania.
yeah.
I don't know why they revisited the Lashley thing. I don't understand it. It is what it is. We'll
Yeah.
move on. Next, we had the Grit couple,
Mm.
Beth and Edge versus the Judgment Day. Uh, yeah, man, yeah,
Hmm.
mommy. Mm,
I was, I was, yeah. The wardrobe folks did a really good job. There were no
yeah,
malfunctions, and everyone looked.
unfortunately, yeah,
Unfortunately, everyone looked fantastic. Everybody got their stuff in, and I was totally swerved, thinking that less. Because I'm still brain dumped from that one, but I'm really surprised that Finn and Rhea didn't win. But then again, it sort of makes sense. Like that's the blow off match. So now he's done with Judgment Day. And note to creative, that's how you end a feud. You could maybe do that with Lashley and Lesnar. Just saying. So it
so,
was good to see all of that go on. I think there was enough. you know, funny jacking around with the Grit couple against the Judgment Day. A lot of really, really hard hitting, good spots, and I'm happy to see Edge and Beth get the win. I was 100%. I was surprised. I thought for sure Judgment Day was going to go over because Rhea needed to look strong, and they're trying to build Finn. Maybe he goes for the U.S. or Intercontinental title or something, while Priest and um, the Mysterio go after the tag titles or something.
Yeah.
So I was totally caught off guard.
Okay. I disagree. I think they're gonna do Finn and Edge one more time. I think
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
I
think
think
I think you're gonna get Finn and Edge Hell in the Cell
yep,
at
at
WrestleMania.
Mania, and it will be because Finn isn't done.
Right.
But if not, I think that was the perfect way to end the feud. So did you catch you didn't catch the press conference, right?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So the theory came out before Edge and um, Beth, and Theory was like, "Oh, there's nobody on my level," blah blah blah. So Edge accepted a U.S. title challenge for tonight. So I
So
was
that's what they're
like,
gonna do.
interesting. So now is it Hell in a Cell for the U.S. title? That gets the title off of Theory, so he can have his match with Cena, and then Finn gets the title off of Edge. Edge retires and goes to AEW.
Could be. I see. I see Edge losing to Theory because of Finn interfering, which
Mm.
leads them to the Hell in the Cell,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and then I see Theory going over Cena at WrestleMania
Yeah.
to give him the big push going forward.
Yeah.
That's how I
Mm.
see. I mean, hell, you might be right. I don't know. You made the Edge to AEW comment. It's interesting because I noticed they finished the match with the big rig or the Shatter Machine or whatever they
Yeah.
called it. So is that a tease that FTR is coming to WWE, or is that a tease that
Ooh.
Edge wants to go to AEW?
Yeah.
So
And
it'll be
have
interesting.
one more run with Christian,
Yep.
and they finish up. Christian comes back to the WWE, ends up in the Hall of Fame, and everybody goes home happy.
Yeah, who knows? It'll be
So,
interesting to see because they've been tweets back and forth about Edge and Christian versus FTR now, and I'm
oh
like, I'd like
man,
to
that
see
would
that
be good.
wherever they. I'd like to see it more in AEW just because I think they'd let them have more time and put on a better
Yeah.
match. But I wouldn't mind seeing it in WWE too because as much as it hurts a little bit, Papa H has been doing all right by some of the booking he's been doing,
Yeah.
and I think FTR were his guys when they were in NXT, so they could probably come back and have a pretty good run at it.
Hmm.
Not rubbing what was it, Uzi hot on their balls. So and they're yeah, I can't believe that was FTR. Yeah, shaving each other's
Shaving each
backs.
other.
Like
I
if
totally forgot.
I mean, if you're not trying to force a team out of a company, why would you have them do
Oh
that
my
kind of crap?
god. I have never.
Like shaving each other's back in the shower and yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't long after
yeah,
that they
that's
left.
funny. Yeah.
Well, that's like the same thing with Tony Storm. They had that thing with Charlotte Flair where she pied her in the face twice, and Tony comes out. Well, you can just call me Two Pie Tony, and like the next week she's like, yeah, I'm out of this damn company.
Yeah, I'm not putting up with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they did Mox kind of dirty too. They had him
yeah.
lose to. She just came back.
Oh, Nia
The
Jax.
Nia Jax. Yeah, like
Yep.
body slam by Nia and all that. Yeah, that was
Yeah. Gave him some
interesting
shit
booking,
booking and
but
then had him lose to her. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I did
man.
have
But
notes for that match though. Basically the thing I had the most is that they gave Beth and Rhea a lot of time in the ring, which I was impressed with
yeah,
because I didn't know if Beth could still go, and yeah, she could still go. And
yeah.
I thought Rhea's
She go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. No, I
Yeah,
was gonna
they
say I
she
thought
said that Beth said that she spent twice as much time as she thought she would so she could hang with Rhea because she was so impressed with Rhea and her time down at NXT, she knew what Rhea was in NXT, and she's so much more now, which impressed me to no end. Like them, still putting Rhea and Finn over after having a tough match like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Rhea's selling was fantastic. I mean, just she looks great. Like she is going to be one of those stars that she's going to be around for a while. Is she was she a WWE NXT bring up? Like did she do independence or anything? I don't remember.
she was in the Mae Young Classic, and then she was in NXT UK, and then came to NXT, and then
Okay.
on the main roster.
Cuz I'd be curious. I mean, I imagine she'll be WWE for life, but I'd like to see her like in a New Japan or a Stardom run.
Oof,
There's some talent out there that I'd like to see her work with for
yeah,
sure. Uh, I wish that they would open their doors and let their talent work with other people cross promotional because there's some talent I'd like to see her in the ring with because
her
I think
and
she can
Jamie
go.
Hayter.
Oh my gosh, yes, her and Sheeta, her and
Oh,
Tony
Sheeta
Storm,
would be fun.
her and Rio, that would be a match.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
they.
her and Jade.
Oh yeah, her and Jade. I didn't even think about that. The
That's like a whole
size.
different kind of fantasy booking right there.
The you mentioned one. Oh, Tony. Tony defeated Rhea for the NXT UK title,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and then Rhea came to NXT, won the title, carried it for a minute, and then went to the main roster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. But yeah, that was a fun match. Another fun match. Truly enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. It ended up with a Glamazon slam outside onto Rhea, and then on the inside was a spear, and then Beth rolls in, and they, like I said, they did the Shatter Machine for the finish. So we kind of went backwards order. Usually I give that and then we talk
yeah,
about the match, but that's all right.
yeah,
After that, we had the men's chamber match, and it's funny. I'm looking over my notes, and there's not a lot of notes. And I remember thinking during the show there was a lot of filler between. Like I feel like this pay per view could have been an hour and a half, not 3 hours or whatever it was.
yeah,
I just remember thinking like, oh, the match is over. I've got 15, 20 minutes to go do something before I come back in.
yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of propaganda. The commercials were freaking fantastic, though. That
The
commercial with Seth and the man as as
yeah
Batman and Joker, and he's like, "What's up with the voice? I'm gonna go to the cave. I didn't know I had a man cave. You don't. I'm the man." I was like,
yeah
"No." But
yeah.
commercials were fantastic. The programming was really good. Michael Cole was a little extra snarky, and the crowd though they were into it. They were
Oh yeah, 100%.
fantastic. And when each pod opened up, they it was just a slow boil. And then when Tez's pod opened, people went bonkers. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Is this dude Canadian?" And he did not disappoint. And
Yeah, we'll get
it
into that
was
match here
it
now. Yeah.
yeah, that was the so to this point, I had Beth Phoenix and Edge against Judgment Day. That was my favorite match of the night at that point.
Okay.
And my expectations were sort of mixed because I wasn't sure what was going to happen in my mind. I had this idea what was going to happen with the U.S. title so they could get it off of Theory. And the first probably 15 minutes of the men's elimination chamber, I'm like, what? You can't do that. This is
Yeah.
WWE. And
Yeah.
like you said, the crowd was so AEW. I hope Ottawa is just as hot tonight, and
Yeah.
it just continues to build build each crowd that the WWE each city that the WWE goes to. And looking at the figures last week, the WWE shows Monday night was 11,000 and Friday night was 12,000, and AEW was like 4,500. The AEW crowd was super loud. I don't know what it was on Friday night. Well, I guess it was the same crowd because it's recorded,
Right.
so like 4,500. The crowd was super into it, but if they could do the 17,000 of in Montreal that loud, that just alive. I hope every city in America when WWE comes to town, they don't just sit on their hands. Um, they 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 take up for what, and hopefully Ottawa's doing it right now. It's they're just in the opening prelude for it. So,
Yep.
but yeah, great match. I can't wait to hear your notes. My love quickly turned into not love, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll go through it real quick then. So men's chamber match, you got Austin Theory, Montez Ford, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, who finally looked like Johnny Wrestling again,
Yep.
and Seth Rollins. The two starting out were Seth Rollins and Gargano, and holy cow, they start off with some amazing chain wrestling
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the ring, back and forth, counter, recounter, counter, counter. Man, those two like I want to see a program with them. I want them to go a
Yep.
90-minute, match because they looked fantastic together.
That'd be a fun Iron Man match.
Yeah. And just watching Gargano, I was like, this is the Gargano I remember. The
Mm-hmm.
innovation, the speed at which he goes. I was so impressed with him. He's the Gargano I fell in love with in NXT.
Yep.
That just had those amazing matches with Ciampa and everything else. He hasn't been the same since he got back. So hopefully this will go. Hopefully Triple H went, oh yeah, that's why I like this guy so
Oh,
much because
that's why we call him Johnny Wrestling.
yeah, this was great, great
Yep.
stuff. Then Austin Theory came in next, which surprised me, champ number
Mm-hmm.
3, but that's all right. Um, again, back and forth. Rollins and Johnny beat up Austin in his pod because he did some stuff and goes back to hide in his pod. And I love that he's holding it closed, and Johnny Gargano is just trying to open it, and Seth Rollins walks around to the other side of the pod and just slides it open and kind
Yep.
of leans on it like waiting, and Gargano just points like the
Just points
chemistry
back.
between Rollins. Yeah, the
Yep.
Rollins and Gargano chemistry was great, even to one of the spots that comes a little later. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
then they get in the pod and they beat him down and get him, kick his butt, pull him out. Uh, basically, Austin gets worked over pretty good. Priest comes in next and just destroys everybody.
Yeah.
Power bombs and throws.
Razor's Edge.
Yeah, nice little tribute with the Razor's Edge. Next, we had Bronson Reed, who same
Mm.
thing comes in and just wrecks
Freaking
everybody and
tsunami. Good
jeez,
night.
does the top rope dive. And I mean, this guy is a big dude who can move like a small dude.
Yep.
I like the rumor about not Christian Cage, the rumor about Brian Cage going to WWE. I want to see Brian Cage versus Bronson Reed.
Oh, how
Like
fun would that be? That'd be a great
that
program.
match would be fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, so back and forth again, everybody in. Then, like you said, the monster pop for Montez Ford, who comes out and just absolute like I don't think anybody in this match, except for possibly Austin Theory, but again, I don't like him, so maybe that's why,
Mm-hmm.
didn't show out. Like I felt like everybody in this whole match was just 110%. Everybody in this match made me go, I want to see more of this person. I want to see
Yep.
more of this person. And I know Austin Theory is part of his character, so he's the slimy and can hide, and you get
Mm-hmm.
him, and I'll wait. That's fine. But everybody else was just go, go, go. And then you had the what I alluded to earlier, fighting going on, and everybody's sitting there, and Gargano and Rollins are both sitting back to back. They don't know each other. They're kind of taking a breather, and then they lean on the cage and see each other, and then they start talking about everybody below them. And then Rollins just lays in a chop that you could hear through the arena, and
Yep.
those two are going at it, and it's just man. Bronson Reed ended up taking everybody's finisher, and then he gets eliminated, so he's the first one out. Uh, that was before the resting on the top, and then we had that's what it would led up to. So they're on the top, slaps him. They start fighting on the top, and it looks like uh, Seth Rollins is going to power bomb Johnny Gargano off the top of the pod, and he turns that about to drop the F bomb. He turns that effing thing into a freaking hurricanrana that was one of the top spots of the night for me.
Mm-hmm.
The timing was perfect. This setup on everybody on the outside to be there to catch him if they weren't there and ready, because Rollins couldn't see and Gargano really couldn't see.
Yep.
If those guys weren't in place, you just lost two guys to injury for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was a butt clencher for me. I'm like, oh my god, okay, everybody's fine.
Yeah.
And that was just the first of several that it came out in
Mm-hmm.
another one that came into this match. That's like 3 times in my notes. I got Johnny looks amazing. Johnny looked awesome. Johnny looks
Yep.
amazing. And then Priest ends up hitting the Razor's Edge, eliminates Johnny Gargano.
Mm. I was
Then you
like,
got
wait. And a little bit later on, he tweets, hope I made everybody proud. And I was like, I really wanted Montez Ford to win, and if it wasn't going to be Montez, I think Gargano would be a great U.S. champion. I don't know that we'll ever have lightning in a bottle twice with someone as Gargano size like Danielson when he won the world title, but he is a Triple H guy, so you never know. But he definitely had a good showing and would have a good argument to say like, "Hey, I belong in the title
Oh
picture."
yeah,
So that was fun.
yeah. I could. Yeah, I'd like to see him do more because it was
Hmm.
great. And again, this was my match of the night. I know you said it wasn't yours, but
Mm.
I had such a good time with this match.
so,
We'll get to. I'll
uh,
try to breeze through to get to the end.
so I'm having
Uh,
so much fun at this point, and Gargano takes a three, and I was like, okay, okay. Tez is still in it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Keep it
yep.
moving.
I will say
And
Gargano was my pick. I was
yeah,
hoping Gargano would win, but yeah, he takes the pin.
yeah.
Then we had Ford and Rollins hit a blockbuster to pin Priest,
Mm,
which is kind of cool to see them
yeah,
finish off Priest. So Priest gets pinned. Then Ford goes for a frog splash. Somewhere in here, I missed that Ford dove off the top of the cage on everybody. He climbs up the side,
yeah.
and I don't remember exactly when. I think it was before the Rollins
Hmm.
uh, Gargano thing on the top, but that was an impressive spot too. I mean, a little more scripted and like I could see it coming, but it was still a decent spot for him to be able to spin himself around the way he did.
Yeah, it was a good spot for him to show his athleticism
Yep,
and like what he was capable of doing. So it was super exciting, and that's why okay, my hopes are still not dashed. I'm like,
they're
okay,
they're they're coming here
everything's fine.
until yep, hit the blockbuster on Priest, pin Priest. Then Ford goes for a frog splash on Austin, who gets his knees up,
Mm.
and then Rollins hits a stomp, and then Jared's Knight comes crashing down because Austin pins Ford for a one, two,
Uh,
three,
Not only
and
does he
the
stomp him, he stomps him with his head on the outside of the ring, so he's on the platform of the chamber,
which is metal.
and it's like, I mean, there's like a eighth inch foam, and you can hear every time someone flies out of the ring and lands on it, you hear this like thump and just like bone rattling, and I'm thinking, okay, everything's fine. But once you get the stomp, I mean, it's a prelude to the kiss, right? So he gets
Yep,
so Slimeball, who Theory has been kicked in the face, um, thrown through a chamber, beaten up in the chamber, kicked in the face again, taken, everybody's shots on outside, and then he just slides in and gets a pin. I'm like, he doesn't deserve to get a pin. Which what I thought would have been awesome is if he didn't get one single pin, and he still ends up sliming out, but whatever. So so now Tez is concussed, and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, he had such a great showing,
yep,
and he's in absolute la la land, and I'm like, oh man, hopefully, and he's married to Bianca for those that don't know. So hopefully Bianca's okay. She's not having a conniption, and Tez will be all right. And um, with Rollins, who's the professional, he's like, oh,
yep.
got to keep show must go on. So officials come out, they're making their way, and I'm like uber focused on Tez because I'm like, he's
Right.
the future,
Yep.
and I hope he's all right. I'm already upset enough, right? My two picks, my two picks for this show to win the U.S. title. Number one was Tez. Number two was Gargano. Both of them are gone. I feel like I'm watching the NFL season, and my Giants are gone. Now I'm watching a Super Bowl with Kansas City and the Eagles when I wanted the Buffalo Bills and the 49ers. So now we've got the Buffalo Bills and the 49ers watching at home, and Theory and Rollins are the last two remaining. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is going to be really good. And so this will be a good way to get the title off of Theory. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep. Yep. So they play the injury angle. And
Mm.
I was going to let you just finish up the match because you were so passionate about it.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so the officials come in, open the cage up to get Montez out, who looks legit. He worked me
Dude.
too. I was worked into a shoot. I was worked up. I was like, damn, like they really hurt him.
Mm.
And then Logan Paul comes out. Even to be honest with you, up until the part where Logan Paul came out, I was still kind of worried because
Yeah.
even with usually if you see an injury that's real, you kind of see the action in the ring stop and separate. And they did that. So like Rollins went to the corner and was kind of sitting there, and you could see him talking to the referees.
Right.
And Austin Theory was on the other side. It's almost like they did a really good job of scripting it to make it look like he was really hurt. Because if you watch, like when Moxley knocked out Hangman Page, it was okay. Mox has got to go stand in the opposite corner, and they halted everything to make sure he was okay. I got that feeling. I'm like, oh shoot, like he's really hurt.
Yeah.
And then Logan Paul shows up. I'm like, no, he's not. This is all a setup from the beginning. They got me. They worked me too. But yeah, Rollins decided to go in. Austin Theory was getting up. Rollins runs for the stomp. And as Rollins is about to do the stomp, the Logan Paul rolls in and steals Hangman Page's move and hits the buckshot
Dude,
lariat.
he
Totally.
freaking nailed that move.
Yep.
And
way better than CM Punk ever did.
So he buckshot lariats him.
Yep.
And then he takes Rollins' own move and frickin' stomps him, which I like how Logan did his stomp because it wasn't on his head. It was on his shoulders, so
His
it looked a
shoulders,
little bit
yeah.
safer. And maybe because, that was the first or second time or maybe they practiced it, before the match. But yeah, it was, not at all the ending that I was hoping for. I didn't want any like shenanigans with the Elimination Chamber, but I must say now that I've had a couple of days to let it kind of stew, there's some good business that was done during the match that you could build. You could build some stories from, and now you've got Rollins and Logan Paul in a match,
Yep.
which who else would you want in a match to help a newer wrestler who can fly and get it and hit it than Seth Rollins? And maybe
Yep.
besides the Miz, and they already tried the Miz. And I just think this is going to be an awesome match. And this, with Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, it has the potential to steal the show. If it goes on night one, it could absolutely be the best match of night one.
Yeah, and I think Rollins is the perfect person to play against this really shitty asshole heel that Logan Paul's going to play. Yeah, I think Rollins is a good pick, and like you said, Rollins is a good enough, or I shouldn't even say it. Rollins is a great wrestler and talent
Yeah.
to be able to pull Logan Paul up, and will be able to, if not saying there will be, but any botches that could happen with Logan
Yeah.
Paul or things that maybe he doesn't know how to pull off right away.
Right.
I definitely feel like Rollins can smooth him over, for sure. I think it's going to be a great match. I agree. I think it's going to probably be one of the better matches of WrestleMania, but we also don't know what the WrestleMania card is going to be yet. So who knows? There might be something else that comes up that will be better. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Who knows? Wyatt and Lashley might steal the show. Can't keep a straight face. Yeah. Sorry, no offense to either one of those guys. I just don't see that.
It's just
Being a better program.
Yeah, styles make fights, but and if they could get Bray away from the spooky supernatural, you could put him on any card at any time. Still leave him as like a special case where you don't roll him out every week. But
yeah,
the smoke and the Uncle Howdy, and I'm sure all that's good for TV, but he's still got to get in the ring. He's still got to have good matches. He's still got to be able to make some good business. Otherwise, nobody's going to want to have a match with them, and
Right.
you just spent all this money to bring Bray back, repackage him,
Yep.
have him have this foil, inner struggle with himself and Uncle Howdy, and
I didn't mean to lead you on a tangent there. I
God,
was just making a joke.
yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Tez didn't win. He's okay, allegedly, and
Yeah, it's funny that
freaking
you text me, "Oh my god, I hated the ending," and I'm like, "Really? I thought
oh
it was great. I thought they set up.
yeah,
It was beautiful
mm,
business. They set up Montez Ford being hurt, so we can play that out for a little bit.
yeah,
So um, Dawkins can kind of maybe do his own thing. Maybe
hmm
who knows? But I thought that was fine. Uh, and I thought set up the Logan Paul match. I thought it was a good piece of business. I thought it was
yeah,
okay. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I was
I
really surprised when you texted me that you hated it.
yeah, yeah. I like it happened. The pin happens. The match is over. Logan's walking up the ramp. Theory's standing on holding the title, and they pan to Rollins, and he's got like one eye open. He's still trying to figure out what's going on. And I text you. I'm like, this was shit. I'm sorry. I was just like, I am so upset.
I
But now that I've had a
love
couple
it.
days to let it like the the matchmaker that I wish I was, um, there's so much that you can do now with who pinned who, you
Yep.
know. So now, you can have Reed come out. Well, it took all of you to beat the tsunami, or whatever he's going to go by, and he could have a program with any one of those guys. Gargano looked great, so you could do something with him, and like you said, you get one of the top matches for WrestleMania, really night one or night two
Yep.
with Seth Rollins and Logan Paul.
Yeah. So this is why I love wrestling, because you were emotionally invested in that one, man,
Oh
and
man,
it's great.
it
Like,
got me.
we've been watching it for what, 30 something years,
Yeah.
and to be able to still get got like that is
Mm.
is is pretty good. That says something about the quality of that match overall,
Yeah, that
and
that was twice.
storytelling.
That was twice on Saturday that got me because I thought, yeah, they're going to want to keep Rhea strong. I didn't think. I thought for a minute that they would get Rhea to pin Beth, but then you kind of talked some sense into me, like, well, she's not an everyday wrestler,
Yep.
so why, like, what, that's not really a feather in her cap. And I thought, well, okay, then Finn gets the win over Edge and says, I beat the maker of the Judgment Day. Now you're my bitch, or whatever he ends up saying.
Yeah.
But now, like you said, there's more to be done. There's more to be told, and the Judgment Day keeps getting stronger and stronger because Finn is getting darker and darker, like that Prince of Darkness that he used to do.
Yep.
And then you have Rhea getting stronger and stronger. Wow, um, damn,
Dom gets
ex-con,
dumber and dumber.
he keeps getting like weaselier and
Yeah.
weaselier. So good for them. Great creative, and man, I had high hopes, and yeah. So the match ends, and there was kind of some quiet because then they talked about Tez a couple more times, and then they had some video packages, and then you could kind of hear in Cole's voice how the crowd was starting to kind of boil, and I thought, I wonder how are they going to get. And now, keep in mind, everyone at home, the match that we're about to have is for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The champion comes out first.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Isn't that something?
oh man. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, if Roman came out second, which normally happens with the champion,
Right.
they would have to wait like 15 minutes
Yeah.
because that's how long the crowd would be going. And they went on and on. They boiled for 12 minutes in the ring. And I thought, dude, this is what's up. He came out
Yeah.
and just the crowd was stewing, and and little by little you could tell, like, oh man, the crowd is hating him, and he just fed into it and fed
Oh yeah.
into it. And then um, when the music hit and Sammy appears, I thought, wow,
Yeah. It gave
this,
me goosebumps.
woo, that was probably one of the coolest pops I can remember, even more so than like Edge coming back at the Royal Rumble, or
Yep.
some of the spot fests when the Royal Rumble rolls people out, or WrestleMania or whatever.
I would compare it to the Cody
Yeah.
pop at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good way to do
Yep.
it.
It
And
was right up there with that Cody pop.
and you figure the crowd for WrestleMania was 70,000,
Yep.
and Elimination Chamber was 17, and it probably registered about the same on the Richter scale.
Right.
And I was so impressed with the crowd in Montreal, not just because Ariel Hawani talked about it 44 times or whatever, and Saint Pierre was there, and some other guys were there. Super impressed with the crowd and the entrance, and how Sammy was able to keep it all in one bag. And then Sammy goes in and he kisses his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, self, if you're ever in that position, don't acknowledge who you're there with the man who says, Montreal, acknowledge me. Because you just opened the door.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, that is going to play in a little bit later on. And boy, did it. What just so storytelling 101. Not only was the prelude and the build and the bloodline, and I never wanted anything from you, to cracking him in the back with the chair, to where we are right now, just absolute perfection.
Yep.
Man,
I would
absolute
agree.
perfection. And they hadn't even touched yet, and the crowd was going bonkers. He's outside the ring. He kisses his wife. He goes back in to the ring, and then it starts. Now there's booing, and there's cheering, and like just ultimate raging.
F.U.
And
Roman chance.
then you get the FU Roman. And that truly got into Roman's head.
Yep.
You're
He
booing
did a
me?
great job.
You're
He did.
booing me? And he did such a good job of just letting the crowd just get, not like all the way in the skin, just
Yep.
under a couple of layers, and the crowd fed off of it. And Roman played his part perfectly. Sammy did a great job of being the underdog and fighting from underneath all night,
Yep.
and just like, it was perfect. It was great.
Yeah. I actually have no notes on the match because I got so into it. I didn't
Yeah.
write it. So and I hadn't gone back to watch it, but I agree. Like Roman did such a good job playing his character,
Mm-hmm.
and just letting and showing that he was playing that character.
Yeah.
And then the tormenting of Sammy, because we all knew Sammy was going to get his butt kicked, and he did. Man, he got
Mm-hmm.
pillar to post, got his ass kicked, and took a good beating. Um, and then the torture, like you said, went back in front of his. I think his dad was the gray haired man in the corner, if I'm correct, where he was taunting him too. So just absolutely like taunting him in front of his family and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But I like the callback to the kiss though, when Sammy got the upper hand and then jumped out and kissed his wife. Then
Yeah.
one got back in the ring. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good. And I thought, oh my goodness, he's gonna get after it and hit the haluva kick, and not so much.
Nope. Yep.
And there was the perfect amount of Sammy having just enough of an upper hand to give every underdog out there, me included, I thought I had a chance. I was like, oh man, acknowledge me, Roman. You just
Yeah.
took a haluva kick. You just took uh, an exploder. You just took, some nice shots, some
The
chops,
Superman punch.
and all the Superman punch, the work up to that, when he,
Yeah.
emulated Roman, and he does this cocking of his arm like he just loaded a round in the chamber. and Roman rolls out of the ring, and you're like, oh, and now he's back in the ring, and yeah, it was a great showing for Sammy, and made him rep, represent himself, Montreal. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a really good match.
Yep.
It was just enough of an underdog, and then me thinking long term. Now this gives something for Cody to sprinkle in.
Yeah.
Now Cody can give tonight, if he's in the arena, and he talks about Sammy. Hey, great job, Sammy. Here's a rah rah speech for you.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
does Sammy show up and give Cody the rah rah speech? This is what I did, and I almost beat him, and I had a chance, and you're not going to be in Atlanta. You're going to be in L.A. And you're going to be doing this in front of everyone, going after one of your dad's guys, and whatever, however he spins it to make it this majestic story. And you're coming back to the WWE to be the face, and then Roman's music hit. You're not the face of anything. Acknowledge me. I'm
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. But yeah, the as the match wore on, it really started to slow down, and Roman just grinded and grinded.
Yeah.
Sammy would slap, punch, kick. Roman would grind, and I was just like, man. And then a couple of exploders, a couple of haluva kicks.
There were a couple
Um,
really good near falls where I thought
yeah,
they really are going to flip the belt to him.
yeah,
Oh, Roman is probably one of the best I've seen at kicking out.
yeah,
Like he has really got that timing to that one,
yeah,
two, three down very well.
yeah, yeah. It was really good, and so it's building and building, and even Heyman was to the point where he was just like, my tribal chief,
Yeah. Finish it up.
and yeah, it was you lose a couple of referees,
Yep.
and there
So I
was a
did have an issue
little,
with part of that.
yeah,
So you lose the first referee, and fine, we all it happens in matches. That's cool, and we get the beat down. Well, then Jey Uso comes out and he puts the beat down. But like as soon as Jey Uso stops his beat down, the next referee's in the ring. I'm like, why didn't that referee just call the disqualification? Because he saw everything going on.
yeah,
I thought the timing on that was a little off. That was the only thing out
yeah,
of the match that stuck out to me as like, they could have done better on
yeah.
that.
What should have happened is Jimmy does his thing. He slides out to the far side. The ref comes out,
Right.
near
Don't have them
fall,
pass each other.
and instead it's like they look at each other in the ring. You don't see me, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, that broke me out of it just a little bit.
hmm,
Literally as he's sliding on the the referee saw everything,
yeah,
so that broke the illusion a little bit. But I still thought it was great.
hmm,
And then you've got the end with was it the second referee goes out,
hmm.
and then Jimmy Uso gets. Do I have him backwards? Jimmy
So
J.
Jimmy comes out. Jimmy is the one who's aligned with Solo and Roman.
Okay, so
Jay
Jey
is the
Uso
one
comes out.
who's conflicted, and
Gotcha. Yeah,
he's
main
like,
event
"You were
Jay.
my bro. You were this. You were my
Yep.
that." So Roman mush faces him, tries to give him the chair. He takes the chair. Roman's like, "Oh, you're about to get it now." He turns his back, and I'm thinking, they can't have Jay hit him
Right.
like Sammy hit him.
He sure looked like he was going to though.
And yeah, he cocked back a couple times like he was going to take a swing, and um, Roman turns around, snatches the chair from him just as Sammy goes to spear Roman. Roman slides out of the way, and Jay takes a spear from Sammy.
Yep.
So now I'm thinking long term, Jay can go, I was there for you. I can't believe you did me this way. And I almost turned my back on my real blood instead of you faking inside the bloodline. So I'm
Yep.
like, oof. So that was really cool how they laid the groundwork or foundation for what will be, the tag team match
Yeah.
at WrestleMania. So
Yeah. So obviously Roman goes over. Finally, get the second referee back, or the first. Somebody gets back in the ring. One of the
Yeah.
referees, and he's hitting the spear and the punch, and he gets the 1, 2, 3, and then they start the beat down. And whose music hits? KO making
Mm.
his return. So
Yep.
yeah, it was a great match. I enjoyed it. It's funny because as I was watching it, I was comparing it to the Rock Hogan in my head, as far as like we had talked about. All right, what match would you show somebody?
Mhm.
I'm like, this would probably go up there as to like I could turn somebody onto wrestling. Maybe not the match by itself,
Mhm.
but if I took the Bloodline package, that
Yeah.
little what led up to this, showed them like the trial of Sami Zayn, and then showed them the week after, and then showed
Mhm.
like that feud, I think would be one of those that I could add to a list to say, all right, you're not sure what wrestling is here. Watch this
Yeah.
Bloodline storyline from the Monday night before WrestleMania till this match Elimination Chamber, because it was good, and I literally was sitting here going, yeah, this is some grade A 5-star amazing booking job, and the match itself was right up there. I mean, we all know Sammy can go, and Roman has proven that he's gotten a lot better and can go. And yeah, it was fantastic. Sammy did a good job of playing the I don't really have a chance, but I'm going to give him my all. Even the wobbly feet thing he does when he stands up and he looks like he's about unconscious, fantastic selling.
Yeah.
Uh, there, like I said, there were some 2 counts there that I'm like, oh, they're really going to pull. Oh, okay, he
Yeah.
kicked out.
Did
It
you
was really
catch
good.
Did you catch what Heyman said um, when before Kevin? So Kevin comes in, saves the day. Um, Now it's just Heyman and Kevin in the ring, and Kevin's looking at him. Now, Kevin Owens has had Roman's number on a couple of occasions, and the during their last go. Um, this is what started the end of the bloodline as we knew it for nearly a year.
Yeah,
So Kevin comes in and he's stunning everyone. Now it's just him and Heyman in the ring, and Heyman looks at him and goes, I've always loved you. I've always wanted to be with you, as as his confidant, but I had to go with him. And he
yeah,
points at Roman, and Kevin's like, "Get out of here with that. I'm not trying to hear that thump." So now a little bit of dissent is sprinkled in, and I'm thinking, okay, so is he going to line himself, go back with Lesnar? Is the bloodline done? And then I think back to the T-shirt that Roman wore a couple of Fridays ago when it was just Heyman and Roman on the T-shirt. I'm thinking,
yeah,
man, this is so just next level storytelling, and I am so excited to see what's going to happen over the next 4 or 5 weeks till we get to WrestleMania. And this was not just the best storyline in the WWE, but the best storyline in wrestling. And I'd have to think back at least 10 years, and
yeah. Like
super
we talked
super
about.
impressive, man. Very
Yeah,
impressive.
we talked about it a couple weeks ago. You said
Hmm.
10 years. I think it's probably the best storyline in the last 20. I can't think of another one other than maybe Austin McMahon that
Yeah.
pulled everybody in as much as this.
Austin
Um,
McMahon, the initial wave of NWO, which was so that's 25 years.
yeah, I can't
Um,
think of another
yeah,
storyline in WWE since maybe 2000 that
yep,
I have been invested in to this point. Yeah, this was fantastic, and I don't think it's over yet. I think it's going to go through to Rumble or to
yep,
WrestleMania. I think there's going to be some more to it, whether it's the Usos versus Sammy and Owens. I think is going to be part of it. Whether or not tonight, as we get on the show, we see Cody getting involved, or yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to be, and that's
yeah,
saying something, right? Like for somebody who was a lapsed WWE fan to now go, "Ooh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen." That's how you
yeah.
book
It's
episodic episodic week over week TV that you
man,
want people to come watch every day.
yeah, super super impressed. And I don't generally like when there's excessive blood, excessive outside interference. That's why I sort of got turned off when you had the aces and eights in Impact or TNA. It was Impact at that time, and Bully Ray, and it was like if the roster was 100 people, like 80 people were in aces and eights, and 20
Yeah, like
people were just
NWO.
in NWO when there was the black and red and the black and white, and then there's all these other iterations, and you're just like, okay, man, I get it. You need to have a stable. I like the Four Horsemen. It's so clean.
Yep.
It just makes sense. The Legion of Doom. There was a tag team and a manager. You were like, okay, I know who's who. And with the Bloodline, you know who's who. You thought you did. Sammy just gets fed up enough, and now there's some seeds in there. So no, Solo hasn't even said one word,
Nope.
and you're like, okay,
And he
well, where
wasn't
do
there
you?
at all.
Yeah, where does Solo stand? What what role does he play going forward? Where is Jay's head at now that he got speared by Sammy? Jimmy is ride or die with Roman, and I was just like, this is awesome. And
Yep.
as upset as I was about the end of the Elimination Chamber match, the end of this and the just the way the whole match unfolded, the storytelling, phenomenal, phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. Great show. Yeah. So, what do you give it as your overall rating for a? This is our first pay per view rating, I think.
Yeah.
Um, oh, are you there?
Yep.
Oh, my whole screen just went out. There it is.
Yep.
My whole screen went black. I went to screensaver mode. Um,
So now for my first premium live event, I'm going to because I still am a little bit in my feels about the end with the Logan Paul interference. I'm going to give it 4 beards, and super impressed with the women's cage match. Thought it was great. I liked how it wasn't it wasn't just Asuka going through pinning everybody.
yep.
Everybody got a shot to get a pin. Everybody got their stuff in. Carmella played her role great. You had the the nonsense with the Bobby and Brock. Hopefully they button that up and we don't ever have to talk about that again. And then just phenomenal storytelling with the Grit couple. Super overall, I was really impressed with the way the card played out. And like you said, it probably could have gone a little shorter, but the commercials were great. The packages were great, building up to WrestleMania, telling the backstory to some of those folks that only watch the premium live events on Peacock. And yeah, so I gave it the four beards. Really impressed with Trip and all that. So good stuff. So what about you, man? What do you think?
Yeah, I went 4 beards also.
Nice.
The Lesnar Lashley match took off on it, and then all the filler stuff. I understand
Yeah.
there were good commercials on it, but it's a premium live event. I don't need commercials. I'm
Yeah.
watching it. I don't mind some of the vignettes they cut, like the commercial thing for um, WrestleMania with, like you said, the Joker and Batman, and that was
Hmm.
great. But all the other filler ones I could have done without. Like I didn't need a whole spotlight on the Miz for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I just, but as far as the matches and everything goes, I enjoyed everything except for the one match. Yeah, I'd say 4 stars, or I'm sorry, 4 beards,
4 beards. Nice.
4 beards.
Yeah, nice deal. So for the week, we gave our week to AEW for weekly programming, and I'm super excited for what WrestleMania is going to give us, what Revolution is going to give us. But I am so proud of what the WWE did, and I'm not Canadian, but Montreal should be proud, and I can't wait to flip on Monday Night Raw and see what the crowd in Ottawa is up to.
Yep, yep. We'll have to turn that on here as soon as we get done because we got to do a review for it tomorrow. So,
Yeah, little Moscosh. So yeah, right on. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Send everyone home. Much like Montreal, they were happy because after Kevin Owens got done stunning everybody, he stood up Roman in the middle of the against the up against the ring ropes, and Sammy nailed him with the haluva kick, and everybody cheered, and he stood there, not victorious, but he definitely got to enjoy the flowers of
Yep.
Montreal. So good deal. So. Well, thank you again once again for everybody joining us here at the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
This is Jay Tilly.
Thank you for joining us on this Elimination Chamber review. We'll see you all soon. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the floor.